Hello, everybody. James Floyd Kelly here. Welcome to episode 22 of Novel
Woohoo!
Ideas. I'm with my friend here, Eric Wex, fellow writer Eric Wex. And Eric, it's hard to believe, 22 episodes. We're into the new year. This is our first episode of 2015.
It is, and I'm getting all professional. You can see there's a new microphone.
I was going to say you got the mic. There's
I've
no
got the
doubt.
mic. I'm in.
Eric is on the mic. You need to make a little sign for it that says on air.
Yeah, there we are. Or, or,
There
or
you go.
like we need a little logo for novel ideas that goes right here.
There you go. Well, listen, we've missed a few episodes, so
Yeah.
let's go a little longer. Viewers, please forgive us. We normally try to keep these around 15 minutes or so, but maybe we'll go 20, 25 today because we do have quite a few things to talk about, Eric.
Yeah.
Before the show started, we kind of made a list, so let's get right to it. I want to jump into the first one, which is at the tail end of 2014, you finished up episode 10 for the Gravlander serial story on Geek Dad.
Hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have to
I
tell
was
you,
I was
um,
writing on Christmas.
well, it was kind of nice. The episode 10 ended on Christmas Day. I thought
Yeah, I
that was
thought that was
very
cool.
apropos. So let me ask you this. Are,
Okay, James, I'm losing you.
oh,
Good enough.
yeah, we're having bad weather in Atlanta, so I'm hoping that we don't have too much of a. Is that better?
That is better. Let's try it again. Ask me the question again.
Okay, so the question I pitched to you before the internet went all wonky was, before I tell you about what my feelings are on Gravlander, are you happy with it?
Yes. I'm really. I actually am pleased. I think there were some emotional moments that I would like to earn better, which gives me an incentive, I think, to edit it a little bit. So I feel like right now it functions as a series of 10 short stories. And that's kind of the way it was conceived and thought about. And I thought that was really, really great. Um, I like the idea that I met my deadline, even if I was really close to not meeting it a couple of times. So for me psychologically as a writer, that was really, really helpful, to have that deadline and sometimes I woke up Thursday morning going, have zero on paper and I got to get it done by tonight, and you just get it done.
Yeah.
So I found that to be like I said, really constructive for me, and it's already paying dividends when I'm writing other stuff. I just
Yeah.
have a lot more like, okay, I've got 6 hours, I got to get it done. Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna get it done.
I do feel bad because even though you can tell the viewers, I never emailed you and said, where is it? Where is it?
Nope.
Where is it? I patiently waited on Thursday nights, and I think the last one I actually went to bed at midnight and was
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'll get up early in the morning and check, and if it's there, I'll post it. Jonathan actually, our co one of our co-writer, our
Cooking.
co-geeks at geekdown.com, Jonathan Liu, he actually ended up having to post it for me because I was on the road heading
You were
out for the holidays.
right.
So
Right.
thank you, Jonathan. If you're watching this, thank you very much for handling that. But Eric, I got to
And
tell
I
you this.
should say to those who signed up for my newsletter, your codes for my novel on Audible are still coming. So I haven't forgotten you. I'm going to get that done today or tomorrow. So
Good. All right. So those are the winners for the comp for the.
yep,
Well, you had some giveaways for people who just registered, and then we had some random
yep,
giveaways. So,
yep.
well, listen. Let me tell you about Gravlander. Okay.
Okay.
Um, by my smile, I was very, very happy. You know me.
Good.
I've told you forever that I love cliffhanger serial type
Hmm.
stories. You definitely delivered some good cliffhangers. Every episode sort of ended on a cliffhanger in a way. Um, some of them were very like, what, no, no, I can't believe he stopped it there.
Hmm.
Um, when I finished all 10, okay,
All right. Let's see if you come back. I lost you again. Still gone. Still gone. Still gone.
I think we're
Oh, now I can hear you.
having some more internet problems.
There you are. You're back.
Okay, wow. Like I said, viewers, apologies. We are having some bad weather here around the Atlanta area, and it's probably causing some internet issues.
We can edit that out. Not a
So you can hear
problem.
me.
I can
Okay.
hear you great.
We'll edit that. Zip, 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 top, top. Okay. Let me tell you my thoughts on Gravelander.
Yeah.
Um, when I finished all 10 episodes and I
Yeah.
look back from episode 1 to episode 10, when I first started reading, I really enjoyed episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. But I have to tell you that my favorite, absolute favorite two parts now have to be 9 and 10.
Really?
Yes. Um, the Tim Cree are great. I love that whole story of the Tim Cree and how they have this little sort of fake planet made of ships and stuff. It's great stuff, and it gives you an opportunity to go investigate those with other
Right.
books or whatever. But here's what I loved in part 10 when Joe is on the desert planet and she's pondering what she's been doing these last 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, she's doing guerrilla warfare in.
Ah, I lost you. Hang on. You'll come back.
Okay.
There you
Um,
are. When she's on the
I,
planet, she's doing guerrilla
when
warfare,
she,
and
and she she's delivering supplies to these planets that are really destitute.
yeah,
That's where I almost wish the story had begun,
yeah, I hear
because
that.
you put her on. The Tim Cree were interesting and all, and I still stand by it. I love the Tim Cree. I think they're a really great creation by you. But now I find myself going, I want to know what she's been doing these 2 years. She's been doing like rebellion type. It's Jack. Jack was on the black market, and now he's not. Now she's the black market.
Yes,
He's become
yes.
that character, and so great way of wrapping this serial up. But now at the end of episode 10, I'm like, I want more of Little Joe and her adventures on the ship.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. That's a great thought. And there is definitely a huge gap there that I can fill, and it's one of the things I've been thinking about when I expand this story. Um, yeah, I do feel like there's going to be some edits to need to smooth out some of what happens in the beginning. Just a little bit. I just need to expand a few things. I hope that doesn't mean that I write out the tension, because I think one of the things this forced me to do was really focus on the micro tension of each story. So I by giving each little thing an arc,
Right.
right? Each little one had to have an arc of its own, and yet it still had to carry the bigger story. I feel
Right.
like there is this way of propelling you forward in Gravlander that I really hope that if I edit it, I don't end up writing that out. That's one of the concerns I have.
Yeah, the tension is there in all of the episodes, but especially in 9, when
Yeah,
she's risking capture by the Unity. And I'm trying. We should have put a spoiler alert for viewers who haven't finished it or haven't read it. I apologize for giving away. Joe's still alive, and kicking. But you know what, Eric? It was a great series, and I really thank you and appreciate you doing it. And
yeah,
I'm
you're
hoping
welcome.
I would love to do more serial stories for Geek Dad in the future. They don't have to necessarily be Pax Imperium.
Yeah, that
Um,
would be fun.
but
we have Kaylee out there.
that was my next question to you. Is something to consider is that you've got this sort of legend building. You've got this. There is a backstory that could be told about the world Kaylee lives in.
Yeah,
There's potential there. So
there is.
so
There is.
well,
I
let me
always
ask
need
you
to know my
this.
bad guys. I always need to know my bad guys, and bad guys actually have to have character arcs. So
Yeah, and I like your bad guys. They're I can identify with them. So
there you go.
hey, let me ask you this. Let's take a different subject.
Yeah.
Get away from Gravlander, but again, congratulations on finishing it
Mhm.
and job well done. Right before the holidays, right before Christmas, I read an article on the internet. It
New
really
York Times
surprised me.
article.
Yeah, it was about Amazon moving to this all you can read for what, $10 a month or $12 a month?
Yeah, it's 9.99, and that
$10.
actually started last July. They've moved it to several other countries since then. It's pretty wildly popular. It is changing the indie market in as far as there are certainly some writers who are getting hurt income wise by it. There are others
Yeah.
who are being helped by it. I am one of the ones who, frankly, I think is being helped by it.
Okay.
My financial book now gets probably half its sales as a percentage of sales. It gets half of them from the Kindle Unlimited uh, platform.
Okay.
However, the overall sales numbers are up.
Good.
So the total sales are up high enough that my income has not dropped. In fact, I think it's increased slightly, and I'm certainly getting better visibility for the book. So from
Okay.
my perspective, Kindle Unlimited has helped. But you could see someone like, particularly, I think like someone like who's a romance author, who is really making their money on cranking out romances every month.
Right.
They're going to get hurt pretty badly because their commission just went from, an average, if you're charging $2.99, you're making just over $2 a book, and
Now
that
you're getting
commission
better.
is now dropped down to $1.40, right?
Right.
So that's a big hit on income for every sale that you lose that goes over to the Kindle Unlimited sales. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of authors that are pulling out of the Kindle Direct program because they don't want that. So they don't want to lose those sales. And I think that's probably a good move for some of the larger authors.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very happy with that because that leaves my books more exposed in the Kindle Unlimited program. So you don't have the large publishers playing in that field yet. So you're back to the indies having a distinct advantage. And yes, they're not paying us as much. That doesn't surprise me. Like, I've never thought. Well, Jeff Bezos is famously quoted as saying in 2013 that authors were customers.
Right.
That's just factually, like
Now he's
factually,
treating us like
that's not
customers.
true, right? Factually, we supply a product they sell. We are a supplier, and
Right.
no one in the indie community. I mean, what he's trying to say is we intend to treat you really, really well. Yeah, that's only as long as it benefits Amazon to treat us
Sure.
really, really well. And they are, since then, since 2013, they have really begun to hurt on Wall Street for capital because they don't make money yet. I
Yeah.
mean, here they are, the largest retailer in the world, and their prices are too low to make money. I mean, that's all you need to know. So it does not surprise me that one of the ways that they're going to do that they're going to look at is actually cutting the commissions for authors, and they found it a very effective way to do it. So
You think
I'm not surprised.
on a side, just a side tangent question, answer in 30 words or less. You think Amazon's ever going to get investigated by the government and possibly looked at as a splitting up? Like almost like they need to be.
Not in our current political environment. Our antitrust laws and the loss of our antitrust laws is I think, one of the biggest damages to our society. But that's a political comment. We'll stop
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, let's leave it there. What I would say is read my books. There's a
Yeah.
reason I think antitrust matters.
Well, Amazon needs to show a profit. I mean, they really do. Let's
They
be
do,
honest.
and so I don't. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at them for doing what they must do in order to continue to exist as a platform to sell my books. If they
Right.
find out that they're giving too much money to me in order to make this profitable, then
Right.
I need them to continue to exist, and I need to figure out how my business strategy is going to work.
Yeah.
There's a second side of this, so I want to cover a couple other issues, if I may, here on this. The first is the New York Times. They're no white knight. Okay, we're used. They have a clear bias against Amazon and no interest in understanding Amazon's side of any issue. Okay, so you know, I'm glad somewhat that Amazon is being challenged by the media and that they're having a hard time because I think that's going to make them ask questions internally of how did we get in this position where nobody likes us, and understand that that can actually have an effect on their bottom line. So that's a good thing for Amazon because for too many years they haven't been challenged in the marketplace. So finally we have a challenge to them. That's awesome. That's first. So but let's not pretend like the challenger doesn't have a dog in the fight. Amazon is owned by a large publishing corporation. They have their own bias and their own ideas of what they want. They really don't like the disruption that Amazon brought to the market, and that's why they're fighting them. So
Yeah.
good, good. Let them go at each other. That will improve both sides of that equation. But
Good.
but this kind of moves us on to something that we talked about. If I can transition us, so you want to transition?
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. That's where I was going. Is that you recently made a decision
Yes.
about your writing career, or about how you're going to be publishing. So let's go
Yep.
ahead and talk about that and tell us
So
why you made this decision.
I am a huge proponent of indie publishing. I will never stop being a proponent of indie publishing. I think that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I published How to Manage Your Money When You Don't Have Any, indie publishing was a a place where you could really be discovered as a writer and move a career forward just by throwing a book on Amazon. You would get enough readers that way, and if the book was good, they'd be loyal to you, and it would move forward. I think as the number of independent titles has increased on Amazon, that is becoming increasingly difficult to achieve. Um, I think that it's just going to be harder and harder and harder to break into those top tiers on Amazon where you get the visibility you need to generate actual loyal readers.
Hmm.
That that I think the greatest statistic that shows that is Smashwords. Smashwords, which is another independent publishing platform, probably the second most important independent publishing platform from Amazon. The number of titles on Smashwords went up 20% in a single year. That's a huge number of titles available. So again, you know, one of the good things about having the traditional publishing model where it's available for a while and then backlisted and then no longer published is that things disappear so something else can come to the top.
Yeah.
Now, what I think you're seeing on Amazon is that, wool is still selling 3 years later, and that's
Right.
fine. You're great, great, good. But that does mean that it's taking a slot that makes it harder for other people to actually get the same visibility and
Yeah.
generate their own fan base. So I think the tendency, and here's where the business model for some indies I think is working for them in the short term, but I think this is something that I've been talking about with fellow writers. Um, I think there are some writers, but not a lot of writers, who can write a novel every other month and make that career work. I do think that as a long-term viable option will burn people out, to be flat out honest. I
Yeah.
think that's going to burn out the author. That's 12, let's say it's every other month, or let's say it's even every 3 months. I mean, you're still putting out 4 novels a year. In 10 years, you're asking, and this is the interesting point that was pointed out, is it's not just the writer that wears out at that point. You actually, I think, will start fatiguing your own loyal readers because they want to be loyal to you. But you're asking them, if you're putting out a novel a month,
Yeah.
you're asking them to read 120 novels in a 10-year time frame. That demands of them a kind of loyalty that they can't, where they really can't read anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Or they've got to read you and one other. I think it's hard to build a fan base that is that loyal to you.
There is something to be said for being patient
Yes.
because I wish my favorite authors would write books faster, but
Yep.
then again, I know exactly what you're saying. If they were putting out a book a month, would those books feel as valuable and as the anticipation has a lot to do with it.
Yes, it does. And how many of those writers would you actually follow? I think
Right.
what is happening is you're getting very narrow cliques of readers following two or three authors, and that's all they're reading.
Yeah.
Or you get the people who are skimming and they're loyal to nobody, right?
Right.
They're just grabbing something here or there, but they're not willing to invest in following you because they've got 50 other people where they're grabbing a book from them.
Yeah.
So, in the end, I think that actually may damage the Kindle sales. I really think that this is something that Amazon, this reader fatigue, is an issue that Amazon needs to pay attention to. I mean, the other thing that I think is really damaging to them is the free books. I mean, there are statistics that show that Kindles are lined up with 5 to 7 years worth of reading,
Right. Nobody's reading it. Yeah.
and nobody's getting through it because they're just collecting. So the idea of going in and BookBub is important because I think it does get you sales, but I think it's pretty clear that people are grabbing stuff that they never get read. I know I have tons of stuff that I grabbed on sale on my Kindle that I would love to read, but the chances of me actually getting it read are very thin.
Yeah.
So I really think it's important for authors to step back at this point. I hope we can do that here in the early months of 2015. Step back, evaluate the long-term implications of what we're doing to readers and what we're doing to ourselves as a career, and really think about how do we use this new platform well, and what does that actually look like for Amazon to actually help us use that well, rather than just pushing us to publish more, so that they have more content on their site. I think that they're going to have a problem there.
Well, we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
What go ahead and share with viewers
So
what
so
decision you made.
so what this did for me, right? So thinking all of this through, what this did for me, I have queried a couple of agents recently, for the Pax Imperium universe. I really am looking for an agent who's willing to buy into the whole universe and would be willing to help me sell the universe, the sandbox, to a publisher. I think that sandbox has a lot of space in it, pun
Hmm.
intended.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of places we can go, and there's a lot of stories to write. And I think that it has a proven market. Like, I think that Etna's reviews, I've got 46 reviews, all of them 3, 4, and 5 star. No 1 and 2 star reviews. So I think that that's an incredibly good resume for that universe and a good place to start. I don't have a lot of sales. I mean, even
Yeah.
for those 47 reviews, there's not a huge number of sales behind them.
Hey, you know
So
what? If it can get you in the door and an agent looking at your
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, I
great.
think,
That'd be
and,
great.
and that's what I feel like is that, I think one of the best things that indie publishing can do is allow you to test your stuff. You get it out there, you make your mistakes, you learn what works and what doesn't work, what people like and what they don't. You develop an audience and a following, and then you can go talk to publishers and actually, I think, have a better foot to get in the door. We shall
Um,
see. That's the plan. We'll see whether the agents are interested in talking to me, or if the answer is, hey, great, give us
yeah.
the next book.
I read
Which is very easily could be what I hear.
I read a tweet this morning from an agent that I follow.
Yeah.
She stated something, and I'm paraphrasing here. It was along the lines of somebody had asked her, what kind of science fiction are you looking for? And her tweet basically said something like, you know what, the apocalyptic, end of the world type science fiction, just no more, please. I mean, just
Yeah.
it was like it's tired, it's been done. So maybe we'll see a return to uh, space opera. That would be kind of nice to start seeing some more of that.
I really hope that Ursula Le Guin's challenge to the book publishing community, that perhaps we need positive imaginations about the future, will
Yeah.
will help. I hope that has a larger resonance. Like, I hope it changes the way publishing thinks about speculative fiction. We need fiction that can take honest, hard looks at where we're at, but also project positive directions from those hard places into the future.
Well,
So
it's been an interesting few years. We've had such cool things. The probe landing on the
yeah,
asteroid, and
right.
did you hear this morning? They think they've discovered one of the long lost, Martian rovers from a satellite. They think they found
Sweet.
it. And so
That's
there's
pretty cool.
some really neat things going on that I'm hoping are going to make kids
Yeah.
and young adults start waking up and realizing that science fiction can be actually very positive.
Have you been outside to see the comet?
No, I have not.
So tonight, pair of binoculars.
I'll
So
look and
if
see.
you're in town with light, it will take binoculars. If you can
Yeah.
get out of town where you can see to the south where it's dark, it's pretty beautiful. So
Yeah, here in Atlanta, you pretty much got to drive about an hour any
yeah,
direction to get any kind of non-light.
binoculars.
Pretty
Then
bad.
binoculars will do it. My wife and I saw it about a week ago, and we finally here in Portland are having one of our rare clear days in the middle of the winter. So we will be out tonight with the kids looking
I'll
for the
look it up and see
comet.
when the best viewing time is. We're having bad weather here in Atlanta, so I probably won't tonight.
It's not. It's really visible because it's right near Orion, so
Okay.
it's very easy to find.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to find.
Hey, listen, we're out of time, but
Yeah.
this was a great episode
Yep.
22. Viewers, if you have any questions for Eric, any topics that you'd like us to talk about, please email them to Eric. You can go to ericwex.com and submit them there, and maybe we'll pick something to chat about. But next week, Eric, episode 23, we'll come up with
Sounds good.
something. But again, congratulations on Gravlander.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Congratulations on the decision to start looking for an agent.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. And we'll talk again next week, okay?
Look forward to it.
All right. See you later.
Take care.